Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Thistle St. Andrews for the World Financial Group Jim Sullivan Classic Super Sunday.
Super Sunday.
Keith Rains here in the booth along with
Andrew Buckle.
Nice to have you, Andrew.
Oh, nice to be here on an early Sunday morning.
So you drew the short end of the straw.
Yeah, I got voluntold here.
But it's great to have you here. Who do we have here in this men's championship quarterfinal match?
Well, we get Team Grattan versus Team Jones. It's James Grattan, Chris Jeffrey, Andy McCann, and Peter Case against, as I mentioned, Scott Jones, Scott, Jamie Brandon, Brian King, and Robert Daly.
And the Jones boys are from the Moncton Curling Club?
Moncton, yep.
And James,
as another commentator say, from Oromocto.
and other parts of the province.
Yeah, parts all over, yeah.
Well, for these teams to get here, Grattan finished at 5-0, and he struggled towards the end as he was down a player, and he had a couple opportunities in the fifth and sixth end to really put a statement on their game against Dacey, and he was sitting 4 and sitting 3, and both times came up a little short on his draws. And Dacey got back into the game, actually tied it up before Grattan won it in the last shot of his game. So he finished at 5-0. We had Murphy and Mayhew both at 4-1, as well as Stuart Thompson finished at 4-1. And then we had a whole bunch.
Big log jam.
A log jam at 3-2. But coming out is Talon and Jones, obviously, who's here. And the other one was, Odishaw finished at 4-1 too. So.
Well, that shows you how important that draw to the button is for the Hammer, because I think that's how they broke the ties.
Well, and
there's not enough time to physically play a playoff game to qualify.
Yeah, and just explain to that if there folks are tuning in for the first time what when we say draw to the button.
Well, every team has, I believe, it's a 10-minute practice before the game to get used to the ice and how the speed of the ice and the curl. And they'll be told with 1 minute left that they have to throw the closest to the pin or the button. And the closest between the two teams would get the advantage of last rock in the first end. Now,
and they measure.
Then they measure it, in so many centimeters from the pin.
And you keep.
They keep a running total of their total for the event.
And you take the best 4 of the 5.
Yeah, in the event of a tie in the records, because they don't have the time to play the extra games. Yeah. You can be eliminated even though you have the same record as another team, just based on the draw to the button. That
was a nice shot there by King earlier on. That gives him some nice confidence starting off the morning here. And we had the same Armstrong finished first in the ladies' side at 4-0. McPhee was 3-1. And the third seed was Sylvie Robichaud, who knocked off Heidi Hanlon in yesterday's final round. And that knocked Hanlon's group out because I guess their measurements were not as good as a few others, because there was a log jam at 2-2 for the ladies. Yeah. So Sylvie Robichaud got the third seed. Shelley Graham from Capel Winter Club finished at 4th. And then we had Smith, the 5th seed, and the 6th seed was Mallet. So Armstrong and McPhee, Robin McPhee from Prince Edward Island, got the 2nd seed. So they have a bye to the semis. So the girls were real happy where they could sleep in this morning.
Sleep in, that's nice.
And so they'll go at noon. But all the men's teams are here this morning. And maybe you can let the folks know at home once the boys put their
names up, who's what color, so we can do
who's playing here. And Andrew will update us on all the scores that are happening here on the 6 sheets that we have going here this morning. So we thank you for tuning in to Bell TV1 as we're webcasting this from Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club.
Right now, James is in a bit of a trouble here. There's quite a few red rocks in that he would like to not be there. get Andy McCann trying a little tap back here and hopefully hit and roll, I believe, behind the yellow one on the left side where he wants to go. But he's going to get, yes,
Yeah.
he is by.
Nice shot. Nice shot.
So yellow lays one with the number 2 rock in the back, that red one. So they still have to be careful. Well, yellow has last rock, so I don't think James is too concerned about that back one right now.
Well, we've had a great week of curling here. It started on Friday. 18 men's teams, 10 women's teams this year. And we started early and we went late. Each on Friday and Saturday. Culminating to this, the semis today will be at 12 noon. And the championship finals will be at 3-ish. Hopefully 3, but trying to get them a little rested. For the men, you got three games in a row.
Yeah, well, they don't seem to mind if they make it to the third game. So
It's
the money that they win tends to jump up quite a bit substantially there. So
that's a good segue, Andrew. I'll bring that up for the folks at home just to let you know how that breakdown. On the men's side, and the entry fee was $850 for this event. And first place takes home $5,000. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that's a nice little payday.
Second, $3,300. The semifinals, if you make it to semifinals, you almost double your money at $1,500. And just by making it to the quarterfinals, you got your $1,000. So you covered your entry fee and maybe a little gas money.
A little gas money
and a great 3 days of curling.
Well, a lot of these players, if you talk to them, it's not so much about the money. The money's nice, but it's just to get prepared for the provincial playdowns.
Yeah.
More so than anything. It's just top-notch competition.
Well, in a lot of cases, and we had different ones here in the booth this past weekend, we got talking about it, this is almost like a maritime championship. Because you get some teams from PEI, you've got Nova Scotia's well represented here. The Mayflower Club, we had some teams up from Chester. Robin McPhee, who came, second place on the women's side from Prince Edward Island. We had a men's team from Newfoundland. So you're getting a lot of good competition. And the ladies, their Scotties will be January 3rd to 7th, and that will be in Moncton this year. They're going a little early, where the men's tankard will be in the mighty Miramichi in February.
Up in the Miramichi.
Yeah.
It's a nice spot up there.
I was up there for Scotties last year, right after the ice storm. I was staying at the only place that had power, I think.
Well, I was watching it on. Yeah. I was watching TV1 down in Cape Breton, watching that.
Well, I ran into
you do your thing.
Yeah, Steve. Well, thank goodness Steve Thompson was up there watching his daughter, because she was on the Malay team, right?
Right.
And I coerced him into doing some games with me, so I'm going to be there anyway, Keith. There you go. So he helped out, which was great.
Yeah, no, I think Chris here is probably just playing a little tap, trying to move these around, because that red one, I don't think is going to go really anywhere. Could be guarding. It's hard to say. We'll see. I missed the call, but it looks like just trying to plug it up, I guess, because as I mentioned, that red one's not really going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Or it's frozen to the yellow. So hard to guard in this ice, though, because there's such a big curl.
Well, explain to that. Maybe we had folks tuning in for the first time what has gone on here as the club prepared to host this event with the ice and the stones.
Well, they always have the ice has been in since October, and to prepare for this event, they sharpened the stones. Now, what I mean by sharpened is they basically have this box with some sandpaper in it, and it's not. There's certainly a technique to doing it. You just can't have anyone off the street coming in to sand them, because you could damage the rocks. But they run the rocks over the sandpaper, and it makes the rocks curl more or move more one way than the other, as they normally would.
Well, we had Spencer McWhinney for the Dobson team would come up here and warm up, he was stretching stuff up here in the banquet room as we're overlooking the ice. So Spencer was throwing a dig into, I don't know, was Wade Blanchard was with me or whatnot, and he goes, yeah, so much for home ice advantage. He said they go and reflood the ice, and then they rough up the stones, and he said they're curling like crazy now.
Yeah, they also say they did flood the ice, put a new layer of ice on or water and ice on top Tuesday night after our league games.
It's a shot.
And
it's sneaking through.
It makes it a completely different
nice
ice
shot
surface.
by Jones.
Yeah, now they're laying 3.
So they've played this end very well. I mean, they're forcing Grattan to.
Well, it's a tough shot because of as I mentioned, it does curl a lot, so it's not easy to. May look like there's a big hole to get through there, but when it curls hard, the hole sort of shrinks up in a hurry.
Yeah. And we have a good look from it here. It's not that great when you're sitting down in the hack. It looks really small.
Gets smaller and smaller as the end goes on.
And you notice, so what a lot of the curlers do is they'll decide in the shot, but they'll get like partially down, they'll turn back around, and they'll look at it again.
They get different viewpoints from standing at the other end for sure. Looks like he's just trying to run that red back into the pile, open it up, and hopefully get rid of something else in the back. And he did get rid of 1, maybe 2. Oh, almost got rid of 2 of them, but
opens it up a little bit.
That was a good shot. He's trying to give himself a shot for the last one.
And he's going to put another guard up there, top 12?
Yeah, he's trying to put it right in front of that red one, I believe. If he can just throw a biter, it'd be perfect, because then if James were to come down and hit that and double it, the one in the back would count as a point.
No, a good end played by Jones here. Without the hammer. As Steve Thompson would say, it's in his book. Winning curling, there you go.
Yeah, I think that's chapter 2.
Yeah, is if you get the hammer, you score 2, and if you don't, you try to limit the opposition to 1.
Try to force them to 1 or steal 1.
Yeah.
And you'll win most games if you get 2.
Well, that's what Steve's conclusion of in that chapter on winning curling.
Yeah, I wasn't really aware of that till I read this book, so it's a nice. This weight looks pretty good. They're not really sweeping. It looks like it's probably going to get there or close to there on its own. Might sweep it a bit right at the end. The further it goes, the more it's going to go sideways or curl. So, well, that's a nice shot. Plugs it up.
Yeah. Okay, Skip Buckle. What's going to happen here now?
Well, he's got a decision because it curls so hard. It's the first end. Although this is where the advantage of having the practice may come into play. So you have an idea how hard to throw it to get to the 4-foot draw, or he may just be hitting the back to eliminate 1. Because if he misses a draw, he gives up 2. You don't want to be down 2-0 after 1 in an 8-inning game. Especially when there's a nice pot of gold at the end of the rainbow at the end of the day. You don't want to. Yeah, so it looks like he's just hitting the back one. Going to give 1 up. Later in the game, of course, when if it was the 8th end or the last end and he needed 1, he certainly wouldn't be playing that. He'd be trying to draw to the 4-foot.
Yeah.
So this basically is the same as if he didn't have the last rock. That's the way I look at the first end. 1 point, one way or the other is not a big deal.
Yeah. So Jones gets on the scoreboard first here. And as we have the other teams are wrapping up their first ends here, I always get a kick out of, I put a little dig into the men's side because the women's side are always very good putting their names up on the board and putting the score up. The men on the other side, for some unknown reason, is sometimes they have a very difficult time putting their names up on the board because we have the organizing committee has all the names on these lovely pieces of cardboard, and all you have to do is place it on the score boards at the end of the rink. Now sometimes they can't do that, and then the other part, we did make an announcement this morning as they were getting ready to go on the ice. Said please be much very beneficial if you could actually post your scores.
Oh, that way
at the end of each end.
Know what the scores are for all the other games as well.
Well, it was funny because we had like 8 sheets going, and like, we're trying to update the scores, and like there's rinks that are in the 5th end, and we're looking at some of the scores, and they're like, we got a 3rd end score posted. So okay, well we know that they're in their 5th end. Like there's something that had to happen. But anyway, hopefully as the coffee kicks in, there, see, there's Thompson. They're getting their name up
there we
finally. Yeah, that's good.
I'm not even sure. I'm not sure who they're playing, but I know that Thompson's down 1-0. I'm not familiar with those two teams. I think they're both from Nova Scotia.
Well, it was funny. Wade Blanchard says, listen, I have to admit, on my team, Greg Hanlon is excellent at posting scores. He says, especially when we score them, he gets those scores up real quick.
Yeah, it's different than club play. Club play, especially if it's a runaway, you don't necessarily bother putting the scores up. But when it's a cash spiel, you want to put them up as fast as you can, just to sort of rub it in a bit, I guess, and maybe
boom.
It's more of a motivator for you and a demotivator for the team that's down.
Yeah. Oh, that mental aspect.
But
buckle you.
Oh,
Slide.
Kevin Babin is really bad at that. I believe Terry Ottoshaw got 2 there. We'll wait till they post it, but I think he had a hit for 2, so he had beat up 2-0 over Mark Dacey. And the Mayhew Talon game, they blanked the first, so that's still 0-0 after 1.
Yeah. The Talon has the young boys playing today. Wayne sort of picks and chooses his games, I guess.
I think he's trying to keep young. He's trying to keep young by getting the young fellas on his team.
Yeah. He's played in a few, and then Kyle comes in for him. So I don't know if Wayne's going to show up if they win, they want to be in the semis or not. But he gives a lot of guidance to the players and stuff. And
yeah, it's nice to sort of give back and still keep your foot in it.
And you've seen that on the women's side too. I've seen some teams. There was the picnic team playing the young girls from Halifax, and had a veteran Skip where she shot lead, but she was always giving guidance. Like every shot, she was talking to the girls about different situations, giving her expertise, as she was a former Scotty.
Participant.
Participant and stuff. So that's really nice to see the veteran players giving back, because we know it's difficult as you get older with family and work commitments and whatnot. You can't commit the time, but if you want your sport to continue to grow, it's nice you see different ones making that commitment to pass the torch on.
That's right. Now James is a bit of trouble here again, so he's just trying to open it up here. Trying to get access. Scott was having nothing to do with throwing up a center guard for his first rock there. He put the first one in the house because he didn't really want any junk out there, but now he's sort of covering, trying to prevent James from getting more than 1 point. Let's see, Smith and Graham over on the girls' side. Smith got 2 in the first. It's up 2-0, and
yeah, Thompson is playing Jamie Murphy. That's on the sheet. Sheet 3.
Okay.
Yeah, Jamie Murphy.
So Jamie Murphy's up 1-0 after 1 there against Thompson. It's hard to see over there with the partitions.
Yeah.
Jamie Murphy's originally, he used to curl juniors out of Riverside.
Yes, yeah. And now he's out of the Mayflower.
Yeah, and he comes up every year to this. I think he combines it with the visit.
Yeah, there, 2 for 1. Drop off the Christmas presents.
That's right, and then hopefully go home with a pocket full of money. He's won this event before, I believe. So now James is trying. If he can hit this correctly, I guess about 1 o'clock, as we can see it now, both reds should probably go and the yellow would stay, and even a shooter might even roll into the top of the rings.
Well, last night I had the honor of having Arnold Mallet up here calling the shots. Jeremy's father, Jeremy, and his wife Sarah are co-chairs, and both had teams in the event.
Sarah's they just posted their score. She's up 1-0 right now after 1.
Over Sylvie Robichaud, who's a very good team. And I imagine these teams will see each other again as they prepare for the Scotties.
It could be a preview of the Scotty finals. Who knows? Both teams could certainly be there.
So it was great to have Arnold in the booth last night. He's from, they're from Moncton, but he was down doing some babysitting services while Mom and Dad were out on the ice. And Sarah and Jeremy are the co-chairs of this
curling.
event.
Oh, you got a little lucky there. You did rub the guard, but
Plan B.
well, they moved him around.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's awful close. I think he might even be shot, and it's underneath the corner guard, so it didn't work out too bad. Certainly not what he was playing, but
Yeah. And then we have Smith. Smith's up 2-0 on Shelley Graham at the end of one.
yeah, that's 1 or 2 points in the first end. There's certainly lots of time to come
Yeah.
back, and the game is certainly not over.
No.
It's when you get playing like our Thursday night team or Tuesday night team when you're down 5-0 after 2, you sort of so well, how long would we
You
want
might
to
have
stay
to
out here?
you might have to reevaluate.
Yeah, it's just do we want to go in and sit down where it's nice and warm or stay out here where it's cold?
But it was funny last night. Arnold were watching the games because the ladies were done at after the 5:30, and for some reason he thought Sarah hadn't made it, and I had written it down. I said, "Well, I had her down. She's playing tomorrow. She's the, she was the 6th seed. She snuck in." Oh, I said, "Listen, you can be home in the morning watching it. We'll keep you updated, Arnold." So. He goes, "Oh, okay." He said, "I thought they were out."
Well, they just barely got that yellow one out, but the key word is it is out, I guess. Out is the word.
Yeah,
so it's
out.
gone. So now James is trying some damage control. Again, if he hits this again right now about 11 o'clock, he might get both of them and roll behind that big pile of yellow rocks that are out front. But really, to do that, you got to throw a lot of weight because it curls so hard. The quiet weight, it's just going to curl.
Yes.
Too hard to control it. They're sweeping and trying to get that directional sweep and trying to get it to curl.
Yeah. Yeah, he got it out, but he couldn't stick around.
Yeah, so now I think, you'll see him go underneath the corner guard there. If he goes to the other side, that rock behind the tee line, James would love him to go to the other side because then James would just draw right around that red corner and sit in front of the other one, and in the end will be over. James will be looking to get in 2 that way. So this is going to serve 2 purposes, to lay two rocks and then to block off against the draw around. You mentioned before about the good caliber of play here. We had the winner last year actually has been at the Briar quite a few times. Has won the Briar. There's Jean Menard.
Yeah.
And we also have a Briar winner down here right now in sheet 5 also with Mark Dacey. He won the Briar one year.
And one thing about Mark, he played against Grattan last night. You can tell he doesn't bank to his emotions. He lets you know if the shot's good or bad or whatever. And
He's got good deadpan face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't smile. Doesn't frown. Just sort of a blank. Yeah. I think we'll say he's focused. Just looking across, there's been some nice shots made all over these 5 sheets already tonight, or 6 sheets I guess we have going. So that one slid a little deep. So now James is trying to come right down to it again. Try to freeze one or go right up against the reds, make it difficult to take the yellow one out. And the beauty if he makes this one is it's in front of the tee line, so you can't come down to it again and get closer to the button or get shot. And that's a nice shot.
Lovely shot.
Because of the angle and the guard,
Yeah.
it's difficult to take that out. You can't punch it out to the right as you're looking at it. It would just jam back onto the back red one. So he's looking at running the front red one back onto the yellow, which is not an easy shot. Even though they make it look easy a lot of times.
That was Chris Jeffries with that shot.
I see you're like me. Glasses on, glasses off.
Glasses on. Clark Kent, Superman.
See the ice but can't read.
And I get long arms too. I can't understand that. Also this weekend on Bell TV1 is we have the juniors up in Moncton provincials going underway.
Yeah, actually, I watched a game of that yesterday.
Yeah, beautiful facility up there.
That's nice with the TV1. Like if you're a curler, because they do a lot of coverage in the province for that, and if you're not able to get to the venue, it's nice to be able to tune in somewhere if you have a minute.
Yeah. So like I said, I'll be up in Moncton for the women's, and then heading off to the Miramichi for the boys in February. And we haven't quite heard official, but St. Andrews is hosting the U18 National Championships April 9th to 14th.
Yeah, they're getting a new roof on that building. They just announced it yesterday. I saw it in the news last night.
Yeah, so that'll be, I think, from what I heard, is they're using the curling rink and the hockey rink. Because obviously with that many teams.
Yeah, I believe it's boys and girls, so there's a lot of teams.
So that'll be a great week of curling to our beautiful seaside resort town in St. Andrews, New Brunswick by the sea.
Certainly be a good shot in the arm for the economy down there that time of year, because normally it's pretty well shut down.
That's right, because it just they'll maybe open up the shops and the restaurants a little earlier, because there'll be quite a contingent of
parents like to follow
parents, right?
Down for sure.
For sure. So it's the season will start a little earlier next year for the tourist trade. So
now James is coming down with the intern this time, whereas all the other times we've been going with the outturn for the center line over. Now he's going from the outside in.
Yeah, we'll see how the ice treats him.
Well, when you get a little further out, sometimes it's a little heavier. You have to throw it a little harder because the pebble hasn't been worn down as much. So I missed the call. I'm thinking he's coming right down on top of that yellow one. Try to lay two. He wants to score two here. It's one, he'd be okay with one, but he certainly wants, anytime you have last rock, you want at least two or more.
Trying to get it to come over.
Well, it shouldn't be any problem with that, because it always, the last 8 or 9 feet, it really curls a lot.
Okay.
And that's not too bad either, because that makes it very difficult for Scott to come down here and do anything with that yellow one. I think James is banking on being able to draw for his last shot for two. Now he's looking at, because of the way it curls or finishes so hard, he's looking at maybe possibly bumping that a bit, and maybe laying two. If he were to bump that, he'd roll close to the center. Nope, looks like he's changed his mind. He's just going to try to corner freeze to it, which is probably the hardest shot you can do. Straight on freeze is very difficult, but then when the quarter, you're only trying to freeze to a quarter of the rock as opposed to the whole rock. But then again, there's a reason why they're playing on Sunday morning to make these shots.
Yeah, I guess on the men's side, the only team that had a 3-2 record that didn't make it in was Kendall Thompson's team. Let me take a look here. I want to make sure. Yeah, Kendall. They were at 3-2, so obviously they didn't draw to the button as well as
they wanted to. That's for sure.
And they were playing really well. Their last 2 games, they were curling very well. They got off to a little bit of a slow start, and
this looks like a nice one here.
Yeah.
Nope, just a little short.
So that was, someone's got to lose, and the same thing with Heidi Hanlon's squad. They were tied 2-2, and they were just on the outside looking in too. They had to get down to measurements, and they keep a running track here too, so everyone knows where they're at,
where they stand,
and they have the rankings after every draw. So
it's disappointing to
no
lose
surprise
that way or be eliminated that way, but everybody knows going into it that's what the rules are. So
yeah, like You lose out on $1,000 by 2 inches.
Easily can be
Ouch.
done, yeah. Yeah, well, I used to curl in the Canadian Telephone quite a few years, and we actually won it the first year we went with Gary Mitchell, and there's a logjam tie, and it came down to the draw to the button, and we got a bye to the semifinals, so it basically gave us a one-up game, because it was like the playoffs today, because it was just game after game. That team we were playing
Sweeping
had to
hard.
play
Here's
3
the
in a row.
last shot for 2.
And that's 2.
Nice shot by James to get his deuce, take a 2-1 lead. Jones will have the hammer in the third, and we're getting down to last shots here on our other sheet, so we'll just swing over and see how things are going. We're both got one. This is the first skip stone for Robershaw.
I know the Mayhew Talon game somebody scored because there was about 8 or 9 rocks in the circle, but I'm not sure. They started pushing them off before I could see who was shot. So that one's not going to stay blank, that's for sure.
And here's the last shot of the Graham Smith. Smith is up 2-0, and Graham is
Hitting against 2. And
and
I would say that's 1 red, 1 for Graham, I would
Yep.
say.
so that'll be
It's all
2-1 Smith over Graham. Smith will have the hammer going into 3.
And last rock coming down in the Dacey Ottershaw game here. He's just cleaning it off.
And Ottershaw's up 2-0.
And he's laying 3. So there's a draw against 3. Now James is throwing it right in the circles too. He doesn't want anything out front because of the way it curls. He knows that they'll just go right around it and just try to force or get a 2 or 3. Because Jones has to do something with that now. Again, later in the game, he may throw up a corner guard to try to generate something that way, but I don't know if Dacey got that or not.
No,
I think
I
it's
don't know.
1 yellow, but
Yeah, it could have been a
they're
steal.
looking at it. Mike Kennedy's indicating it's 1, and they're pushing it off. So I think it's 3. It might be 3-0 there. We'll
Yeah.
confirm that once they
Just,
post it, but
Yeah, Dacey just a little short on his draw there.
it wasn't from lack of trying from the sweepers because they were giving it their all. Peter Case just trying to remove this red rock. You see a lot of this in games when they're on the clock. I don't think they have the clock going
No.
here.
No.
But if a team starts running behind or low on time, they'll play it in with just a lot of hits. It just and the way it goes.
And,
yeah.
and it saves
fast
us.
end.
Saves us for when we do have to do some strategy later on.
Yeah, that's right. You have a little time left.
Yeah. It's sort of the honor system here.
Well, I think the teams are going pretty good pace.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be actually about the same stage of the game.
Well, and like we talked earlier, to these men, I mean, on the women's side, the first and second seeds got a bye, so they're not playing to noon. But these other teams, all these teams playing here, if they continue to win, they're going to be playing 3 games today.
Yeah, and they'll want to probably grab a quick bite to eat between games
Yeah.
and things, so they don't want to waste any time out here.
So that's why we started at 8:30. Gives them a little bit more time because usually the games go around a little 2+ hours. So they'll have maybe an hour and a half to sort of cool down, get a little something to eat, refocus, and get ready for their next match.
And Mayhew scored 1 against Wayne Talon, so they're up 1-0 after 2. And Thompson scored 2 in the second, so they're up 2-1 over Jamie Murphy. We got a measurement going on sheet 7 here. That's the Robichaux and Malay game.
Yeah.
So James, so they threw up a corner guard, and James have nothing to do with it. Fielded off. He says, "You're not going to sucker me into that right now." Maybe if the score was the other way around, if I was down, maybe, but that's a good way to generate points. If you can get up a corner guard and then get one in behind it, and then when the other team tries to take it out, and they may rub the guard, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're looking at scoring 2.
And over on our sheet 7 here, Robert Shaw Malay. Malay's up 1-0, and they're measuring to see who is shot.
I don't know if that's for an extra point or.
Well, Robert Shaw's red. Oh.
And again, we're peeling the corner guard here again because he doesn't want anything out front if he can help it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice shot. Those look easy, but they're not because
No.
you can only hit half to 3/4 of a rocket, 3/4 of the most if you're throwing a lot of weight. Otherwise, you're just going to replace that corner guard with your own, and then, like Scott wouldn't care whose color it is out front, it's as long as there's one out there.
We'd like to thank our sponsors for making this event possible. Obviously, Thistle St. Andrews Curling Rink for hosting this excellent event. World Financial Group with their excellent support. Molson Coors, the Canadian Mental Health Association, and of course, us.
There you go.
Bell TV1, great to be here, broadcasting this event. This is, if you're in the area and you like to come down, there is no admission charge to come and see these outstanding curlers, because like Andrew and I have been talking about, you're getting some of the top curlers from Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and New Brunswick here competing. And a lot of these teams will be the same teams that will be vying in the hunt for the Tankard and the Scotties.
It wouldn't surprise me if there's one team for the men's and the ladies that goes to the Nationals that
Yep.
are playing here this weekend.
So come on down, and also you can help support the Canadian Mental Health Association. If you'd like to make a donation, they have people here that'd be more than happy to help you out. Write you up a receipt, and supporting a great cause.
So Robichaux, that was the measure for 2. Robichaux got 2, so they're up 2-1 over Malay. It's a pretty clean end here, this end. Not much going on. Not for lack of trying, though. They're throwing up lots of guards, but they just keep getting removed. You might see one more guard after this one if he peels it, and after that, he'll probably just throw it in the circles.
Coming up on the national scene for curling events is the World Financial Group Continental Cup. Will be January in London, Ontario. The New Holland Canadian Junior starts January 13 in Shawinigan, Quebec. The Scotties for the ladies will be January 27th. That's why it's going so early this year. Because usually they're a little later too. But the Scotties is January this year in Penticton, BC. The Briar, Tim Hortons Briar, will be starting in March in Regina, Saskatchewan. And then the Ford World Women's Curling Championship, March 17th to 25th in North Bay, Ontario. So that's some of the big events that's coming up that Canada is hosting on the curling scene.
That's a lot of curling. Plus, I believe this is an Olympic year, too. Is it
Yes.
not? That's why the playdowns are a lot earlier this year. Just to accommodate
I understand that we have committee members
up watching the
Roar of the Rings. The sacrifices that they do to, they want to go there, see if they can pick up a few little nuggets on running events so they can bring it back here to make like maybe the riverboat or this tournament.
Yeah, well, the riverboat and this spiel are pretty well go hand in hand.
Yeah. Well, they're great. Like we've talked about the riverboat because we've had former captains, and the new captain Kevin's going to be the captain. Kevin Baban's going to be captain for next year.
I hope he doesn't sink the ship.
Well, there's for the riverboat. Just to let you know, folks, it's a big tournament to kick off the curling season. 40 teams participate. There's teams from Boston. There's been teams from Quebec, all over the Maritimes,
We've
obviously.
had teams from Alberta before and
Yeah.
all over.
It's a fun, it's a great weekend of curling.
You won't see the competition like you see here.
No.
It's very close, but not quite this caliber.
They eat well. There's great food. They entertainment, and just to let you know how popular it is, teams that compete in it are throwing down their money for next year, so they can get back in it. So that gives you an idea on.
The team's been coming for years, years and years.
So you can check out the website. If you go on the TSA website, I imagine you'll be able to make a contact with if you need more information on the riverboat. And that's usually happens the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's the first event of the year. The ice is usually only in for about a week when that goes.
So in our featured match here, we are into this is Championship Sunday. If you're just tuning in, we have quarterfinal action going on in all our sheets. All 8 men's teams are playing on the women's side. The quarterfinals, the first and second place team, Armstrong and McPhee, by finishing 1 and 2, they get a bye into the semis. So they'll be starting at noon.
That's nice because then they don't have 3 games if they get to the finals.
That's
It'll be a lot fresher team.
That's a big center. There was 10 women's teams in the event this year, so 6 made it to playoffs. So they have 4 here in the quarterfinals. Robershaw taking on Millay and Graham taking on Smith. And in the men's side, there was 18 teams, so 8 teams go on to championship. But in that regard, all 8 will have to play. So they do seedings 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6, 4 and 5. So in our draw, we have number 1 seed Grattan taking on Jones, who was the 8th seed. But there was like I said, a log jam at 3 wins and 2 losses.
There's not much difference between the caliber play between 1 and 8.
No.
Now, as expected, they're just going to blank this end, or try to blank it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no score. So Jones will retain the last rock advantage in the 4th end.
And just reviewing the records of these teams, Grattan finished play at 5-0. We had Jamie Murphy with 4-1, Mayhew 4-1, Stuart Thompson was 4-1, and then Talon and Jones and Dacey finished at 3-2, and there was one other team, Kendall Thompson finished at 3-2, also, but due to the fact of the measurements to the button over the course of the tournament, they came up a little short, and so they were on the outside looking in.
So James is throwing up center guard, try to get something going here. Now is Scott going to go around it, or is he going to? I guess he can't
touch it.
4-guard rock.
Yeah.
Rock rule. So he's going to like to draw around it. There's 2 things you could do. You could either throw up a corner guard as well, because when you have last rock, you like the play to be over to the outside, because those would be sort of a way to generate more than 1 point. And when you don't have last rock, you want to play all around the 4-foot, because that's where you're going to steal a point.
Mm-hmm. In the booth with me today is Andrew Buckle. Great to have you here, Andrew, giving your expertise.
Yeah, for what that's worth, that's good. That's good to be here.
It's just good to be anywhere.
That's right. I guess that one of the perks, or if you want to call it that, with curling with Kevin Babin and the guys that are help organizing this portion of the event, sort of get not voluntold, but
voluntold. I like that one. I've been voluntold.
Yeah.
8:30.
They asked me if I could do a game, then they tell me it's Sunday morning at 8:30. I said, okay.
Yeah. I love you too.
Yeah.
That will affect your Christmas present. I'll just let you know.
It's a nice shot. That rock was about half buried there. So now they'll try to put another one in and try to tuck it even a little bit more, make it more difficult to remove.
If you have a chance, folks, visit bellline.ca/TV1 for the community channel schedule. TV1 is available to Vibe customers in Atlantic Canada on Channel 1. Vibe TV1 powered by Bell Alliance. Keith Rains and Andrew Buckle here at Thistle St. Andrews Curling Rink for the 6th annual Jim Sullivan Classic. We're into the playoff mode, Super Sunday.
Super Sunday, and there's a nice draw coming down here now, just tucking right around there nicely.
Our marquee game, James Grattan, 5-0, taking on Jones from Moncton at 3-2.
And our game actually is the only one that's finished 3 ends. Everyone else is still in the 3rd end.
Well, that's.
So they're not wasting any time
No.
out here. Now, because this one curled a little too much, is sticking out actually the other way, so he's coming the other turn to try to get down to it. There is an awful lot of curl here, which makes it fun to watch, that's for sure. It'll be a little frustrating playing, but
It's great up here.
yeah, I haven't missed one yet today. Almost, but not quite. See, there's a troublesome rock there now. It's tough to remove that yellow because it is just the edge of it's underneath the guard. He's indicating just a backline weight, so just enough to tap it through.
Smith has gone up 3-1 over Graham, and that's after 3 ends. Oh, excuse me, 4-1.
Yeah.
4-1.
That was the. Yeah,
That's a
the
big
third.
end. Yeah, 4-1 after the 3rd. Smith over Graham.
As mentioned, is everyone else is still in the 3rd. So.
Yeah.
Actually, Thompson and Murphy game are in the 4th, but they haven't posted the
Yeah,
score
no,
that I can
yeah,
see.
they have. Yeah, it's 3-2
There we go.
for Murphy after 3. So Murphy's up 3-2 over Thompson after 3. And as they come in, it just feels like you're at election center here. here's a vote in.
Yeah, well, there's so much curling going on, it's everywhere. So
I always remember. Okay, we're dating ourselves, but back in the day, WKRP in Cincinnati, Les Nesman, there's a partial score, 3.
3.
Less. Like Johnny would go, you got to tell the people who's the score with. I don't know that. It's a partial. That's why it's a partial score. So we have a partial score in from sheet 4. 2.
That's pretty good. Probably 3/4 of the listening audience here or viewing audience would have no idea what you're talking about. Say you are dating us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Golfing score, Chai Rodriguez. I go, Chai Rodriguez. Who's that? Les, it's Chichi Rodriguez. Oh. Because Les was what, the weather guy, was he?
He was the one, yeah.
He was a weather guy, so but every now and then when they were short staffed, he would have to give the sporting partial scoring from New York, 3. Oh. Okay, sorry folks, we're back.
Yeah, well, James got Jones making a bit of trouble here now. It looks like might be forced to take one this end if everything plays the way James Grattan wants it to go. They trade rocks. That's a nice roll. Try to group the 2 together, so if we get a nose hit here, there may be an opportunity for a double. And of course, the call is now to hit and roll away from that other yellow one. Talon got a big 3 in the 3rd end, so he's up 3-1 over Mayhew.
And Talon's probably in Fredericton. He's got the young bucks.
Oh, Wayne's not down there.
No, he's there's Kyle. Let me just get the names out here for the folks that might be.
Oh, I see Renee Como down there skipping.
Yeah, Rene Como, Ed Sear, Chris Wagner, and Kyle, what's Kyle's first name? I know his father is down there watching.
Oh, one of Kevin Kyle's
Yes.
kids there.
Well, he's not on the sheet, our program, so I just call him Kyle.
Yeah, there you go.
He's known as Kyle. But, yeah, they're playing well.
Well, Wayne must have confidence in the guys to let them go on their own when it comes to Super Sunday. Now, here we go. We're playing a double because James did not get the roll to the center as he would have liked. Not quite.
No. Grattan still shot stone.
He's not going to leave that red one there, though. Now, club play, you might be tempted to throw a card up on that, but not this level.
So who's all on your team?
Oh, jumping. I get a couple different teams here.
Well, yeah, you guys are famous for that around here. Your Tuesday night, Thursday night, different groups?
Tuesday night, Thursday nights, different groups. Tuesday night, we got the, not the Microsoft Bill Gates, but the other Bill Gates.
The other Bill Gates, yeah. Bill actually did some broadcasting for us yesterday.
Yeah, and actually he's sort of on the disabled list right now.
Nice
Kevin
shot.
Babin's been filling in. He's been doing some broadcasting as well. I know
Yeah.
that. Gary Mitchell's our skip.
Okay.
Dave McCullum, who tends to like to curl almost every day of the week at a different club, it seems. He plays in Sussex, and
Wow.
he's in Fredericton this week coming. And
He's the curling ambassador.
he's all over. I know he went to Chicago for a tournament last year.
He loves the game.
He does. We have a lot of comic relief on that team. And then on Thursday night with Gary Mitchell again, and then my son Tommy and Malcolm London. So we have a lot of fun with that team as well. That's why I got back into curling, because it's not too often you get well, at the time he was 16 years old and asked if he wanted to curl with me on Thursday night. So I said, I think I'll go back to start curling again. After quite a few years hiatus.
Well, it helps break up the winter. Like, you have a little something like that twice a week and, have a little banter.
Yeah, and then we play crystals my son and I play crystals on Saturday mornings too, and they just make up teams with whoever shows up.
Crystals, where's that?
It's here at the curling club at
Oh.
Thistle here.
Oh, that's the name of the...
Yeah, well, originally I think back when they first started, you would play for a crystal glass. The big
okay.
winner would get a crystal glass.
Okay.
Now it tends to be more like a beer mug.
Plastic.
Plastic. All out, yeah, with the budget.
Yeah. Okay, we're into Skip Stones here now. Grattan with his first shot here.
He's going to try to tuck one underneath this guard. Try to force the hand to force the Jones ring to take one. Or even better, for James, if he were to steal one.
Yeah.
He wants to make it difficult for the other team to score. Well, update on the Dacey game. Dacey got 2 in the third, so now Otteshaw is up 3-2 with the hammer after 3. And the Robichaud Malay game, it was blank in the third, so still 2-1 for Robichaud over Malay. I think that's all the scores updated after 3.
Wow.
We're doing not too badly.
You're doing Omen's work here, Andrew.
Now he's playing a hit and roll here. It's not a whole lot of room to roll. If he rolls just a little too far, yellow will still be laying 1. But ideally, you'd like to roll about 1.5 feet to the right. Use that yellow for protection that's out front. The guard should not be a factor in this one because it's pretty well wide open. He's not throwing a lot of weight, so it might pick up the curl. It's nice with the heavy curl. You can't
starting to come over.
The lightweight is difficult.
It's by. Woo.
Missed it.
Just by, but it missed. Yeah, look at that.
The quiet weight picks up the curl and it's going to really go hard on you. So Good opportunity here now to put a lot of pressure and possibly steal a point. If you could put one in the 12-foot just in front of that, that yellow that's in the 4-foot. And there'll be decisions that have to be made, just like James did there in the first end, and just basically hit the back one and cut his losses. Because the draw to the 4-foot's not easy with the big curl. Can't use a big curl as an excuse because these fellows have been playing now for quite a few games on this, so they should have it pretty well figured out.
Well, and there's been a lot of great compliments on the ice this weekend from the different teams, which is always nice to hear.
Well, it is called curling. You don't want the ice to be straight.
No. Then we could play.
Yeah, we could play it straight. It wouldn't be too hard, would it?
It would be too hard.
Now, ideally, he would have liked that one in the 12-foot, but there's more the line. If they kept sweeping it, the shot rock would be open and would give Scott an out. So now he's got a tough shot.
Yeah. I just want to say last year's organizing committee for this, they would have brought you up bottled water. I'm just saying. But I guess when a lot of them aren't here.
Yeah, they're up in Ottawa. They're watching
sort of hard.
Rings.
But I know, poor Andrew here. We're trying to broadcast and this, and he's got a tickle in his throat. And he'd love to have some water, but obviously, budget cutbacks and all. Plane tickets and hotels.
I think we'll survive it.
Have to get our digs in.
Yeah, I'm sure that Kevin Babbitt's home sleeping. So. Well, they're going to have to work this one, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to get there.
Final shot here of the 4th end.
That's going to win.
They're working hard at it.
I think it's going to curl too much. They're just trying to get number 2 now. And
yeah, I don't
know if they get it.
What's our overhead looking like there, big guy? To me, it looks like...
I think it's too yellow.
I think it's too yellow.
That's without benefit of the overhead.
Yeah.
I can't see the screen from here. If so, that's a big steal.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot more hits now on the Grattan team.
Keeping it clean.
Try to keep it clean and protect the lead. Try to force them to one and then get 1 or 2 and then hear the Velcro of the gloves coming off.
It's such a fine line, isn't it? You're trying to... You don't want to throw it too heavy, but if you throw it too light, it starts curling in for you.
Yeah, well, you got to throw it to the sweepers. You can't try to throw it there on your own. You won't make too many shots.
Well, and it's funny you say that because last year I had Jane Arsenault, and Jane was a big believer. She goes, I always get my sweepers involved.
World champion.
Yeah, always get my sweepers involved. And
well, the good teams do use the sweepers. They're not just there for decoration. That's for sure.
Yeah.
People always tease me on my sweeping, but I can tell when it's not going to get there. So I say, why am I wasting my effort here?
Well, I used to, when we went to UMBSJ, we used to curl here on Sunday nights. Back in the day of the corn brooms.
Back in the day. I still slide with the corn broom. There's only about 2 of them left in the club,
Holy
I think.
lifted. You leave here with blisters because you want to make that noise. Remember that noise?
It's got to snap. It's got to snap.
That snap. Love that noise. And you used to have the blisters right in between the thumb and the index finger, right? That's where it would...
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have really the proper gloves to...
No, you'd have your...
winter mitts.
Snow shoveling gloves,
So
multi-purpose gloves.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah, so James put the first one on the button here. And Scott just ignored that through a corner because he knows he has to try to generate some points. And the only way to do that is get something up front and hopefully be able to tuck something in behind.
Yeah. Scores 4-1. Grattan over Jones here after 4. We're moving right along here. We're ahead of everybody else.
More ways than one.
Yes. But we're glad you could tune in to our broadcast today. We'll be having semifinal action at 12 o'clock. Championship games will be going around 3. We have 2 women's quarterfinals games. Team Armstrong and McPhee, they are sitting back having a nice breakfast somewhere as they get ready for their noon games, as Armstrong came first and Robin McPhee came second, so they got a bye into the semis. And they're waiting for the winners of Robertshaw Mallet and Graham and Smith. Currently, Smith is up 3-1 over Graham, or excuse me, 4-1.
That's after 4 as well. They blanked the 4th end, so Graham retains the last rock.
And Robertshaw is holding on to a 2-1 advantage over Mallet. And in other action, we have all the men are going this morning, all 8 teams who've qualified. So they've got a full day of curling in front of them. A few of them do. They could be playing 3 games today.
Well, half the teams here will be on their way home after this game.
Yeah. You mean they're not going to stick around? They'll probably get home and listen to us.
That's right. Get home, they'll rush home so they can tune in.
Tune in. But in our match, we have Grattan Jones, and then on the other sheets, Odishaw Dacey. And Odishaw's up 3-2. Mayhew and Talon, and the Talon rink is up 3-1. And without Mr. Talon.
In the 4th end, yeah.
In the 4th end. And over on the far sheet, we've got Thompson and Murphy, and it looks like a 3-2 score there, Andrew. And that must be
still 3-2 in there in the 4th as well.
So that gets you updated here at the 6th annual Jim Sullivan Curling Classic from Thistle St. Andrews, New Brunswick. My name is Keith Rains, and I'm in the booth with Andrew Buckle bringing you the commentary. So glad you could tune in on this Sunday morning.
Yeah, just trying to peel this corner guard off. That red's in a good spot that's in the house, but it's not easily removed, so they're just going to leave that alone for now. Scott's still going to have to do something with it to remove those 2 yellows in order to count. So James will wait till he does something with that, and then he'll probably go after the ones in the house. But the danger rocks right now are anything that's put out in front. The other sheets are all pretty well down to their skips rocks here in the 4th. So. We'll update those scores as soon as they finish the ends. Another peel here, get rid of that corner guard. Lots of weight. There, that's what they've been looking for. Now they left a rock out in front, so now they're going to try something here, I would think.
Looking it over and going back to is Jamie Brannon for the Joneses rink out of Moncton. Moncton is hosting the juniors this weekend. Have you had a chance to play in the new
I haven't been up.
surface?
I haven't seen the new complex up there yet.
It's I haven't had a chance to go in yet. I've heard great things about it, as you know, they get the ice in a little earlier there because they have a lot of training for the youth programs, the junior programs, whatnot, and obviously any of the seniors want to get up there a little early to get some.
Well, they need a facility like that to open up earlier. So
Yeah.
they have them out west, and that gives it an advantage, I know, to the western teams.
Yeah.
They're on the ice a lot earlier than we are here. So that way, well, you know, when you get to the national level and that, they've got a lot more ice time, so
Yeah.
they got a definite advantage there. I'm not sure what he's trying to do here. If he's going to try to hit that now, or if he's just going to tap and move things around.
The decision has
There's
been made.
a lot of discussion over this one. It looks like he's hitting. Hopefully, he's hoping to remove probably both those yellow ones and lay 2 after the shot. Oh, Ottershaw got 2 in the 4th, so they're up 5-2. Start the curl now here. Looks like a nice shot.
Nice
They
shot.
both rolled underneath the cover too. That was a beauty. Changes the outlook of this end in a hurry, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah, nice shot by Jamie. And they've got to come back here now because, like I said, they're down 4-1 here, so they would love to get a couple to get back in this.
Yeah, now he's going after the guard here, so trying to run it back into the Reds. If he does, knocks it straight back, both Reds should go.
And we'll be back to square one.
Yep, start over.
Hit the reset button.
That can be the frustrating part of the game. It's to get things going, it takes one shot and it's all over, and you can start all over again. Looks like he's got, he got one of them.
Yeah.
All is not lost for Red yet, because he can still throw another one behind here. He's still looking at scoring multiple points here. They posted the score on Thompson-Murphy game.
They're just putting it up now. Thompson got 2, so they're up 4-3 over Murphy at the end of 4. 4-3 Thompson. In the men's action.
This one looks like it might be a little short. Still not bad though. It certainly protects the red rock that's in the circles. Rock coming down to sheet 7 for the 4th.
It's
Sarah Malay's gonna. She's well short.
yeah,
Looks like a steal of 3.
that hurts.
So that score will be 5-1 for Robichaud over Malay after 4. James is trying to double here, right onto the red. It's never good when you have to try to throw these shots. Because the best scenario is the Reds are gone, but the yellow guard's still there, so they'll try to bury another one behind it.
James' first shot here in the 5th end. Nope.
Oh, peeled the guard, so now they could put one sort of half in behind that yellow. They'll have what they call a Christmas tree, just a diagonal line, so there wouldn't be any real double there. That would virtually guarantee him a shot at least 2. That put him right back in the game.
Yeah.
I'd like to put an invitation to anybody who would like to try this game.
Whoa.
Come on out and give it a go.
Give her.
Because I know Mike Buckley would love to see you here at the Thistle St. Andrews Club.
Well, there's a lot of, and we talked about that first of the week, but or Friday, seems like a week ago. But there's a lot of different programs that are offered. I know Charlie Sullivan, an excellent instructor, Charlie Sullivan Jr. There's programming for the youth, but there's also introductory programs for adults too.
Oh,
Andrew?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's what they call the Learn to Curl program, and we got a few members there last year out of it. They're having a ball.
Well, like I say, it's a great pastime. It's a great social activity. There's obviously different levels of curling you want to do. Like you said, like you play in some different leagues, and they have different priorities.
Yeah, well, to me, they're all fun. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter one way or the other. Like, I used to be on the board here years ago, and used to make the teams up. And I'd always put brand new curlers on my team because
Yeah. Well, you want them.
I tell them there's zero pressure. I said, I don't care if we win or lose every game of the year, as long as you come off the ice with a smile on your face, we're
Yeah.
good.
Well, the good thing is if you lose, the other team buys the refreshments.
They do.
So I think it's a win-win.
So good. So you never lose.
You never lose.
Sometimes there's more than one refreshment bought. So they did sort of have going around that yellow, so that is like the Christmas tree going right diagonal. So he's got a tough shot here too.
This is James's last shot here in the fifth end. Going after the...
So even if he hits the stage, it's going to give him a wide open hit for two. But
Yeah.
now it's going to be free draw for two anywhere in the circle.
Yeah.
And that was his goal to start at the end to score two.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well played in by Jones.
Just shows you can't get yourself down because there's still lots of time left to get back in the game here. So it'll be a 1-point game after this. Well, that's providing he makes the draw.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he will.
Yeah. Mayhew has tied it up over the Talon squad. And it's 3-3 at the end of 4. And on the Talon squad today is Wayne's not with us this morning. But on his team is Rene Como, Ed Sear, Chris Wagner, and Mr. Kyle. There's like,
Well, there's a bunch of them.
there's
so I
like
don't want
Bono, and then there's Kyle. He doesn't need to go by two names.
He's a one-namer.
He's a one-name Kyle. But Wayne, I don't think it made it. He wasn't here Thursday night, and the boys got together and they played well. They won their game Thursday night. So obviously Wayne has taught them well. Wayne is a huge advocate for curling in the Fredericton area. They've hosted different national events, and Wayne said they're taking 2018 off, and they're gearing up for 2019 with some big events coming to the capital region.
Well, they're going to have that new rink.
Yeah.
Or I guess that's in Moncton, but they're trying to get some high-profile events here in
Well,
Brunswick.
they've got the cooling systems all worked out there at what's the new rink over Southside? Harvey, not Von Harvey. What's it called? We were going through this yesterday.
Was it Willie? Was it?
No, where Stu plays our hockey games at, right off the highway there as you drive into Fredericton on the left-hand side. No, that's the gym. The rink on the left. Willie O'Reed's north side.
I don't get out much.
I don't get out much. You're going to say I don't make it to West St. John. How would I make it to Fredericton? I would have to go over the bridge.
Yeah, then I'd be lost. So now you're seeing the center guard up, so he's trying to come around here, and James is going to try to generate a couple points.
I'm Googling it. This has been bothering me for 2 days.
They're not sweeping this one. It's going to be there all on its own. That's a little heavy because it's behind the tee line. Ideally, you want to be in front of the tee line.
Grant Harvey.
I'm pretty sure I would
Finally.
never have gotten that.
I'm on Vaughn Harvey because I'm thinking Moncton, right? The Vaughn Harvey. Grant Harvey rink in Fredericton. So they're looking. I think they. Wayne was talking about having mixed nationals there.
Okay. Yeah, there's 2 mixed nationals. There's mixed doubles, and then there's the.
Not quite sure, but they've got a new cooling system in place now, so they can. So I think there's
regulated for the curling ice.
Yeah. So that's good. But to have events like we had Jeff Lacey down, and Jeff's going to be here at noon broadcasting the games. Jeff was the chair of the Women's Worlds when they were here in St. John, and that's what you need in a community. You got to have great facilities first. But you have to have a local champion that's willing to put their hand up and make that commitment, because it is a big commitment.
It's a big time commitment.
Depending on the event, it could be a year, 2 years of meetings going on and getting everything into place. So you got to have a local champion, and then you got to have a great volunteer base.
They probably don't get much sleep the weeks leading up to the event because they're worried about everything.
Yeah, and you have volunteers that say, listen, I don't want to commit 2 years, but hey, when it's here and you need help, put me down, right? And it's great to have that. So you need to have great venues. You got to have a local champion that's willing to take on that commitment, and then you have to have a great volunteer base. And if you do not have any one of those 3 components, then you will not be hosting an event. Like with Wayne, and they've got a great volunteer group. They just had the senior nationals up there last spring, and they've done a lot for curling, where they kept the ice in the Willie Reed so the kids could play.
Yeah, they had the national under-18s up there last year too. Well, that wasn't too bad of a shot. It's not exactly what he wanted, but it's in a good position to do something. It's a little risky here to try to hit. It looks like he's just going to try to peel the center guard off. Hopefully back into one of those red ones. He's your creature of habit, That looks pretty good here.
Nice shot.
It is a nice shot because he left the guard up. Now he's laying 2 under cover.
Yeah. In the other games, we have Smith is up 4-2 over Graham. Robichaud did get 3. Malay came up short on her draw there in the 4th end, and Robichaud is now up 5-1 at the end of 4. Odishaw is taking a commanding lead over Dacey. They're up 6-2 after the 5th end, so that's a big lead there for Odishaw. And Mayhew and Talon are all tied up at 3 apiece. And in our last sheet, Thompson has taken the lead over Jamie Murphy, up 4-3. And we've got our man Andrew Buckle back. We threw that shutout to see if we could get some bottled water up here, but didn't work.
Didn't work. Had to take matters into my own hands.
I thought, the folks somewhere, text message.
I was probably en route.
It's iceberg.
That was a nice draw there. Put that one in. So now James is trying to open the front to get access to that red one in the back, the shot rock. I can say with a lot of confidence, I don't think this end will be blank. There's quite a few rocks in the circles here right now.
Grattan does have the hammer this end.
So ideally, he'd like to get score 2 and get back in control of the game.
These games are only 8 ends. Obviously, if it is tied, they will play an extra end. But they've been moving along fairly quickly here. We started at 8:30 this morning. We're at about 10 to 10 now. Semifinals will get underway at noon. And the championships in the men and women will at 3 o'clock.
I believe you mentioned, I think Jeff Lacey's commentating this afternoon.
Yes. I think we have them scheduled for the semi.
Yeah.
Big dollars to bring him in.
And Terry Ottershaw stole another one there, so they're up 6-2 after 5. And then the Graham Smith game, Graham scored 1 in the 5th, so they're down 4-2. I might have spoke too soon about this being blank. Make a couple more doubles there. Those rocks will all be gone in a hurry.
They heard you. They said, we'll fix Andrew.
Playing another hit here, so make a liar out of me. James does have to get that red one off the 4-foot if he wants to really score more than 1. That's not too bad. I got a little separation now between the red and the yellow on the back, so. So there may be an opportunity to score more than 1 here.
We're into the 6th end. It's going fast, isn't it, Andrew?
It is going fast for Sunday morning.
Yeah. We did get for the folks out of town. We did get a little, just a little smidge of that white stuff last night. Just a little dusting. I guess it'd be a dusting because it was a little bit on the car this morning.
Yeah, and the lawns aren't green anymore. They're a little white.
They're a little, yeah. But we've been fortunate. And I've been checking the weather. They're talking like Tuesday, Wednesday, like double digits in some spots around the Maritimes.
Yeah,
Get the golf clubs.
You don't have to shovel that stuff.
No.
Just trying to draw another one in here. This one looks like it's a little heavy. When the sweepers back off, it's not a good sign.
No, Jane Arsenault would not like that.
I think it stopped in there to be number 2, but it's not where they wanted it. It's a little lighter. It probably would have curled a little harder and be more buried in at the top of the 4-foot, which is where he wanted it. Looks like here he's trying the raised double. I don't think he's trying to squeeze through that hole. He might be, but not much of a hole there.
That's what Chris Jeffries in the.
No, he's trying to go through the hole. If he gets through the hole, he's got a double and be lane 3.
It's moving.
No, they lost it.
Yeah.
But get rid of the guard, so it's not a total loss.
Yeah.
Now the red shots are open. He's talking about maybe possibly removing that front yellow one. The risk is, of course, you run it back into the reds. Or he can just draw in to lay 3. Can't leave it the way it is because there is a double there for James to lay 3. So I don't think he'd be playing the guard.
They're not only looking at what they have to do, but they're also looking at what James will do.
Yeah, you're always trying to play 1 or 2 shots ahead in your mind. If I do this, what are they going to do? If I do that, what are they going to do? What do I have to do to make their shot the most difficult as difficult as possible? Certainly having a long discussion about it. Of course, you never make the wrong call if you make the shot.
Whoa. Oh, whoa, let me sit down here. Like, that's golden.
Yeah.
Can you just repeat that for the folks at home that just might have missed that?
Probably not. It's never the wrong shot if you make it.
It's never the wrong. I got to start writing this stuff down. Oh, golden.
There's a lot of armchair quarterbacks in this.
Yeah.
What are they doing? And they make the shot. So,
Okay.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
okay, that's not bad.
So if we were in a clock dipper, they'd most likely be taking a time out here because they're taking a fair amount of time to decide what they want to throw here. Looks like he's settling on the hit and roll in front of the reds. Now they're just talking about what weight to throw. Again, you got to be careful with the quiet weight because it'll tend to pick up the curl. And you've already seen that where you lose the rock.
Well, I think this is a key juncture of this match for sure. It's the first skip stone for Jones here in the N6. They're down 4-3 to the number 1 seed, James Grattan, who finished the round robin portion at 5-0. Jones was 3-2. But like you said, there's not a lot of separation from 1 through 8 in this field.
Well, it's almost like there's 2 bonspiels. The first one to qualify. Now this is a whole new tournament. Because I know every team here can beat every other team that's here. So.
And that makes it for great because then it comes down to execution, making the right shots, and here we go. Here, see what happens.
Well, it curled on him.
Yeah.
No.
Gets it by.
So now he's just going to try to draw into the pocket. If he can corner freeze onto the button there, it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to remove it. That'll give him a chance for James Grattan his chance for his deuce. Sweeping right away. So either he's late or he's inside. One of the two.
I'm going to say he was inside.
Well, it's hanging out now. Oh, it looks pretty good line-wise.
Good sweeping. Give her.
Have to go.
No.
Just a little bit light.
Yeah. But they were on it. They knew it from the get-go, didn't they?
Yeah, they started right up as soon as it left his hand. Now there's a decision to be made. That's not an easy one to get out of there. And if you take it out, you set up you leave him a double for 2. I'd almost be tempted to do what they're calling there, just put a guard up, tight guard. Just leave James to draw to the button for one.
Checking over the ladies' sides there, they have lots of rocks in play at both ends. So we'll get you updated once they have concluded. We're getting down to
Final skip rock on sheet 7 for the 5th end.
So this is a final shot for Malay.
She's just throwing that one away because there's no way to score more than one.
Yeah.
So it looks like she's going to score.
I get that shot down.
Yeah, those aren't too hard.
Those ones, that one like it just sailed right on through the house. Yeah.
Some people do them not on purpose too.
Ooh, what?
Yeah.
Here comes Jones's final shot here in the.
It's all about the position of this rock, not necessarily how close it is to the rings. Wants to guard against knocking that yellow one straight back in for a double. Now it's a question to see who's number 2.
Who's number 2, Dave?
It might make a. It might help influence what his decision is here to play. Looks like the top yellow one's is closer than the red one as you see about 7 o'clock.
Okay.
He still has to be careful though, because if he moves things the wrong way, he can give up 2. Because the one he's going to be running in is the second shot, so if he moves it the wrong way, he can give up 2 in a hurry. Malay ring did pick up their 1. It was for 1.
So that's 5-2 now. Robert Shaw over Malay after 5 ends. And Murphy's up 5-4 now over Thompson at the end of 5. Talon's group of warriors are up
5-3.
5-3 over Mayhew. Young Guns. Call them the Young Guns. They're playing well. They're getting their Christmas money here pretty soon. Now, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with if there's 5 guys?
He's trying to come around like center guard here and tap the red or the yellow one back into the pile for 1.
And it's starting to move. Is he going to get by that first one? He's by it. Oh, just
looks like he's going to. That looks like a nice shot here.
Nice shot.
Makes it look easy, and that certainly was not an easy shot.
Wow, because that you could have put a piece of paper between those two. That guard up high there. Great shot, great touch, and a good bit of sweeping by the front end.
And to hold that line to keep it from hitting the guard. So that makes it 5-3 after 6 for Grat. Now back to business as usual. Peter Case and Hack ready to go. You just sweep your guts out, and that's okay. On to the next one.
Join Vibe TV1 Scott Squires as he chats with Sir Lunny on CTV Sideline Scoop each Monday, 8:40 a.m. Atlantic, 9:10 a.m. Newfoundland. Get up to date on Bell Line Vibe TV1's weekly AUS sports coverage. That's Sideline Scoop Mondays on CTV Morning Live Atlantic. Keith Rains, Andrew Buckle in the house, giving you his insight on this championship Sunday. We're into quarterfinal action. All 8 men's teams are playing. We have 4 women's teams in quarterfinal. The Armstrong-McPhee group are waiting in the wings to play the winner. Championship semis will get underway at noon. And championship finals will be at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll be bringing you all the games and scores. Our marquee match, we have a men's championship semi on this sheet. We have a nod of approval, and rumor has it that we will be broadcasting the women's final. Get another nod. Okay. We just don't know who yet. To be determined.
So we're setting up like we did 2 wins ago. Jones is hoping for a repeat of the 5th and score 2. He threw up a corner guard, ignoring the one that was in the circle. Now James is drawn into lay 2. Figuring Jones may have to waste 1 or 2 shots to get rid of those eventually. So he's ignoring those again, putting up another corner. So we're running pretty low on time as far as opportunities to score here. There's only 2 ends left to go.
So I mean, from a strategy perspective, good for Grattan. He got his point in the 6th end to give the hammer to Jones in the 7th, so he could have it back in the 8th.
Hopefully force him to 1 and then be 1 up coming home in the 8th end.
That's what the book says.
That's what the book says. That's what Mr. Thompson's book says. I want to mention that Doc Bonner, he helped contribute to that book as well.
Oh, nice. Is he the same one that's
having a New Year's party?
New Year's gathering?
That's the one, yeah.
Okay, because I've been hearing rumblings about that. What a great guy to open up his house to, like, I guess it's like an open invite.
Oh, pretty much, yeah. It should be a big crowd. Just have to know where he is. You can't divulge that, but
no, that's not up for us to say. We wouldn't want to be spreading false news.
No, that's for sure.
That's just what I heard. What did one of the boys in hockey? It's a popular PEI saying. Not saying it's true, but this is what I heard.
So chances are.
Chances are. Don't quote me on that.
So throwing up another corner guard. He'll throw up a couple more before he decides to try to go around one of them.
Yeah, this is King with the shot for the Jones squad.
With James removing the corner, he took out one of his own in the rings as well, so that's one less that Scott has to worry about. We got a final, I think, on sheet 8. So they're pushing the last rock down.
Really?
Well, I think Smith was laying
a lot?
midful.
Midfall.
4 or 5 anyway, and I think she had to draw for another one. So they pushed the last yellow rock up, so Smith is over Graham.
Okay.
That's after 6. Not sure what the final score is. It says 4-2 on the board, so that's probably what it'll go in as because they did not finish the 6.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Buckle.
And all that was, I think, was Graham was trying whatever they could to try to get back into the game, so you don't take out your opponent's rocks.
Yeah.
You try to work around to make it difficult for your rocks to be removed, and sometimes it works, and when it doesn't, it's
a midful.
A midful. It's game over. So now it looks like he's trying to finally go into the circles here. He's got the 2 corner guards up, so he's got some things to work with. I think he's trying to draw between those 2 yellow ones.
Wow.
To make the takeout that much more difficult.
It's coming around. Oh, lovely shot.
Where's it going to stop? Yeah, it's still in play. So potentially be the second point.
Yeah, Brian King with a nice shot there for the Jones squad.
He's just trying to peel that yellow rock off now.
Chris Jeffrey.
If he hits it right, the yellow rock should be removed, and he may roll over into the 12-foot on the other side. That one curled on him, though. Yeah. It rolled safely out of the way, though, so it opens up the red rock in the back. Now here's where you'll see the corner guard strategy come into play. I'll try to put another one around the other corner guard. And then James will have a decision to make, either go after the open one or peel the guard or follow them down. And that's how you generate two, because he tries to follow him down, wicks on the guard, you can actually generate a 3-ender.
Mm-hmm. Brandon with his first shot.
Of course, you have to make these as well.
Oh,
That's the key.
we're in the 7th end here. 5-3 Grattan over Jones, and that's
The line looks good. Now, if he goes behind the tee line, James can always follow him down and take the end away. I don't know if he'd do that, because he was sort of in elimination mode. He wants to get rid of as many red ones as he can. He's peeling the guard again, hoping to maybe run it onto one of the back ones, get rid of one of those as well.
inside. Oh,
Did he
going
get the
over,
back
get that one?
Yeah. That's the bonus. That's what he was hoping for. So
Plan B.
there's still a 2-ender in play, but the 3 is certainly a lot more difficult now. You pretty well need a complete wide open miss to get a 3 now. At this level, chances are it's not going to happen. Still trying to generate 3 though. I'm going to try to go around, I think, that yellow that's in the 12-foot. Oh, here's their other timeout. They don't have timeouts, but you're
I'll get the clock on it.
with the clock, you're allowed 2 timeouts, so this would have been probably their second one.
I just want to say, when I had Dale Parkhill up here, he brought a stopwatch up.
Oh, did he? Oh, Dale, he's another good
His-
curler. I curled with him a
his,
lot of years.
It was putting the splits down. Just saying. No,
He's
I
a
don't want to put.
Canadian-
I
he's
don't
a
want to
Canadian
put.
champion too.
I don't want to put pressure on our other analysts, but Dale had a watch.
I got a phone and set a watch on it. Dale was part of our squad when we won the Canadian telephones back in 2004. He's been playing a long time, Dale has.
Yeah. Yeah, good guy. He said, Keith, he said, listen, I'll give you my numbers if you need me. He said, I know sometimes the boys don't like to be doing that 8:30 one.
Oh. Yeah, he was ready to jump in.
He
here.
was
I know
there,
this
he was
morning.
ready. I said, well, thank you very much. I said, I'm not handling that aspect of the thing, but I'll definitely pass your name on.
Jeez, I could have slept in this morning.
Yeah, because I don't know who's been voluntold to be here.
Voluntold, yeah. That's what they call it at work when they need someone to head up a committee.
Yeah.
You're voluntold to head it up. So now Skip's rocks here. He just wants to hit and stay right there. If he hits and rolls out, Scott will probably try to draw around that yellow corner guard.
So
Doesn't offer much protection, but
No.
it is still protection.
So nice and open down there now, isn't it?
Yeah, all it takes is a few hits and it changes the the outlook of the end in a hurry. Mayhew's in a bit of trouble over there on sheet 4. Talon's laying a couple with a couple of rocks to come. Robichaud's got a tough draw here as well against Sarah Millay. She's got to put it onto the button. This should be fairly routine for James. This should be a pretty easy hit. There's no guards in play to worry about.
On it. So here comes the final shot for Jones.
Oh, there's 2 more to go. For
Oh, is there?
Jones.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry. Got a little ahead of myself.
Yeah. You just don't want to. You just want to get on to the next round.
I was really looking for something to eat. I had to sacrifice something this morning. It was my dog going out or me having breakfast, so I thought him going out was more important.
Otherwise, you have a nice present
Yeah.
when you get home.
He's very good though. Like he's like my alarm clock because I don't need to set anything. He lets me know, like, and he does it in a very gentle way. He'll get up and he'll lay by you, and he puts his head on my chest and going, like, basically, if he could talk, say, "Oh, Daddy, it's time. I'm being nice now. I'm just letting you know. You can cuddle here for a minute, but I need to go out." So
it looks like they're trading rocks, so James will probably hit this one again, and Scott will be looking to hit and roll out for the blank and going for 2 in the 8th end.
didn't we just have this shot a second ago?
Yeah, this is 3rd one in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the Malay team stole one.
I
there.
think that's, yeah, because I was watching that one, see what's happened there. Robichaud had last shot, but
she elected to hit, and she hit and rolled, and they're both sweeping, and the Sarah Malay rock ended up closer, so that makes that 5-3. So that game's not over yet, that's for sure. Looked like it was going to be after 4th end, but again, they're not really sweeping as much, so they're just keeping it clean so it doesn't pick up any debris and go sideways or anything on them. That's when you want it rolled to the center, so it makes it harder to blank because you got to roll further to get out of the circle, out of the rings. Now he's got to be careful. He's probably going to have to hit this on the center line side. If he hits it on the outside, you got to worry about that back one there, about running it into the back and leaving it there. Too many times I've seen that happen. Last rock on sheet 4, the Mayhew Talon. He's hitting for 1, hitting against 2 for 1.
and
Now the blank was successful here.
yeah.
And the Mayhew rank hit the guard, so it's a steal of 2 for Talon.
The young guns.
So it makes it 7-3.
Sear, Como, Kyle.
Like Prince and Cher, and that one name.
And Wagner, Chris Wagner on that squad. So they were up 5-3. You say they stole 2, so that would be a 7-3.
2 wins to go.
Yeah, good for them. It looks they're looking like they're punching their ticket into the championship semi. So I said, I don't know how the money's going to work out now. Wayne, like, you weren't here. So.
Oh, we'll leave that in the hands of the lawyers.
Like that. Yeah, you have to talk to your agent about that one.
So because the 8th end, James doesn't want anything in play, so he's just asking for it to go through.
There's my shot.
Yeah. Those are the easy ones. Though I remember there's, was it a team from PEI here, and the predecessor of this used to be known as the Fundy Line Cash Wheel.
Yes, Jim Sullivan
And
got that going.
The team from PEI, and you was throwing for the blank, and you ended up getting one, left it in the back of the 12-foot. There was nothing in play. He just had to throw it through, and he put it back at the 12-foot. He said, too often I've seen too many people just biff it down, not learn anything about the curl, so I thought I'd throw hack weight.
Ooh, you
and
thought.
he got one.
Ouch.
Yeah. They didn't let him live that one down for quite a while. It's almost as bad as the other night. I had a draw for 4, and we ended up getting 2. So I knocked one of our own out. I was that heavy with the draw. That's just because I knew I didn't have Kevin Babin and Doc Bonner sweeping, so I thought I had to throw it there on my own.
You feel like you're on an island all by yourself there sometimes.
Yeah, we'd be better off to do one of your shots, just biff it through.
I would
have got 3 instead of 2.
I can remember when we used to do mixed curling here, and you know, they'd be throwing draw weight, the girls, and you're sweeping your guts out, right? And just to get it over the hog line, and of course then the skip calls for the shot again, and she goes, "What does he want me to do?" I goes, "Take out, throw, take out." And so I said, "Just let her go as hard as you get." So and the skip's going, "What do you do?" I said, "I don't know what she's." I said, I couldn't sweep again. My arms were toast.
We'd always say, put it in or put it through, because we don't want to sweep anymore. So throw it there in your own.
Well, here comes another guard up.
There's the 2 corner guards. They try to get them as parallel as possible to avoid a double peel when so if they're staggered at all, you might, if you hit it right, you could get rid of both of them, but there's no chance of this because they're pretty well even.
So we got a 5-3 count, 8th end, Jones with the hammer.
Yeah, and James is probably going to have to throw his last rock because there is guards out there, so he's most likely going to be able to bury one with the curl that's there at some point. And at some point he's going to have to deal with that one that's in the 4-foot also. But for now, he just wants some protection out front.
The latest score we have on the Murphy-Thompson men's game, it's 5-4 for Murphy. And like we said, the Talon Group out of the Capel Winter Club, they're up 7-3 over Mayhew. Terry Odishaw, it's looking like a 6-4 over Dacey. Dacey got 2 in the 6. 2 in the 6. And Robichaud in women's action, Robichaud, Mallet, it's now 5-3 at the end of 6. And in earlier action, Smith defeated Graham by a 4-2 count. But as Andrew pointed out, they had a mittful of rocks.
With one to go. So,
with one to go, and so they decided to
snap the Velcro off there and shake hands.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, but it does happen. Anybody that curls has been on both sides of that coin. You can go out one day and have everything go for you, and you can go out the same day and have everything go against you. They say you're on the right end of the ticks, or right side of the ticks, or the wrong side of the ticks. You're either rubbing the guard or you're just getting by the guards. If you're rubbing the guards, you're usually quitting early. Throwing up another center. They'll probably do this up until third stones. And they'll probably see him go in after that. He's just hoping for a nose hit. I don't think he's expecting a miss, but if you're to hit and stay out front, that's still considered a miss.
Yes. Want to hit and leave. Hit and run.
Hit and run, yeah.
Good shot.
But they throw those big weights. It just runs straight up almost like it's on a string. Terry Ottishaw's got a draw out of the full 4 against 1 here, so that game could get really interesting if this draw's not made. 6-5 coming home. Now you're seeing the Jones rink trying to come around that corner guard. He's hoping it'll bury. It doesn't look like it's got a whole lot of weight there.
Not even going to make it to the...
No, I'll give James a chance to double peel, I believe. He must be worried about the jam, so he's just going to hit the one that's closest to the rings.
So now, how late will the curling go here, club curling, for Christmas? Is there any sort of Christmas little break, or what happens?
It just depends upon when Christmas falls. Like last year, they did play between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
But this year, it's probably...
Christmas is on Monday this year.
Monday, so Christmas and Boxing Day Tuesday, so probably won't be till the first. Probably take that week off.
Okay.
They'll probably have what they call the Super Crystal League here on the Saturday, maybe after Christmas.
Whoa, the Super Crystal League.
That's what we're going to call it, the Super Crystals. That's a lot of fun because you just say make the teams up when you get here. They have a deck of playing cards and the stamp what sheet you're on and the position. You just pick a card up that's face down and that's where you go.
Nice.
Then you play 2 ends every position.
Yeah. Is that a mixed thing?
No,
or
it's
that's
men's.
Yeah.
Just men's, yeah.
Just get your chance to play with different people. And
Yeah, and usually get 3 sheets. We'd like to get more, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And say they have a weekly prize. Usually it's just a T-shirt or those famous plastic beer mugs, as you mentioned earlier. Still not too bad. Well, still a few rocks to go. It's in play and it's buried, so. Although James is laying 2.
Yeah, we're in the 8th inning here, folks. If you're just tuning in, the number 1 seed James Grattan's up 5-3 over Jones out of Moncton in this men's quarterfinal action.
He wants that guard out of there because that's a danger rock. The one in the back 12 foot's not really much of a threat right now because they still have to remove 2 yellows for that to count.
That's the voice of Andrew Buckle, giving his wisdom.
I learned it all from Steve Thompson's book.
And Steve will be having a signing this afternoon for all you folks that would like to catch up on that. Winning curling. There you go.
Oh, it's got the insert though from the doc. Yeah.
The doc.
Doc Bonner.
Bonus. That's
The bonus feature, the extra chapters. If you get the second printing, it's got the extra chapters on the back. And he successfully peeled, so now there's really nowhere to hide. But he's got that one red rock in there now, so he's going to try to hit this yellow and roll towards the other yellow and hopefully set himself up with a double in order to get his 2 to tie the game. And if they get the 2, then we get to go to overtime.
Because we're
Extra
about an end ahead of the rest of the crews anyhow.
So, the Ottershot AC ring's got up. They're in the 8th now.
They're in the 8th now.
And Dacey did steal one, so it's 6-5. They're playing the 8th end now with Terry Ottershaw having last rock. And they're replacing the guard on that sheet. The 4 rock roll, they knocked it out of play, which they're not allowed to do, so the rock goes back into play.
Taboo.
Those 2 teams played each other last night with Terry coming out with the win. Ideally, I think they would like to hit this one in the forefoot and roll towards that one on the outside, but it's to do that is most likely going to remove the back red one.
Brandon and Jones have been having a lot of discussions this morning. It's always been down at this end, too.
I'm just wondering if they're talking about the shot or talking about where they're going for lunch.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know. I heard there's a special, brunch special. No,
Depending upon the outcome, would really
too
determine
heavy.
where they go for lunch.
No, it's too heavy. I don't think I can. Well, let's take another look.
But say ideally, if you hit that one in the forefoot and roll towards the other, so then you have the maximum separation between the reds. But in order to do that, I think you would lose that back red one.
Looks like they're trying to throw two at the same time.
So I don't think he's trying to double here. He's just trying to hit and roll and bunch them up.
Down to first skip stone for Jones here in the 8th end.
Yeah, crunch time.
Yeah. This is where they get paid the big bucks.
They get paid?
They get paid.
I always had to pay. They're in the 8th end in the Thompson-Murphy game too, but I can't see if there's any scores been posted since the 5th.
Well, no, there is. I got a 7th score. Thompson up 6-5 at the end of 7. So Murphy's got the hammer in 8th, down 1.
I will defend myself. I can't see because there's support posts in my way.
Yeah.
I can't see the board.
Of course, we could get rid of them, but then the roof would come down.
Yeah, we don't need that. We already had the back wall blow in the groundhog
There's
storm.
a miss.
That's a costly miss.
Yeah.
That's basically cost him the game. So now he's got a wide open hit for the win. Run him out of rocks. Again, with the quiet weight. Picks up the curl with the quiet weight. You
Yeah.
have to throw firm weight to try to take the curl out of it. The sweepers just can't hold it. That's unfortunate because I would like to have seen it come down the last rock.
I love it.
I don't like seeing the game one on the miss. Unless I'm the team that's winning, of course.
Of course, James got to make this one first.
Still has to make it. Even if you're worried to miss, I don't know if there's a double there
No.
to get to. So that's gonna be
And
a
there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
5-3 final.
James Grattan will continue on to the semifinals. And that's a 5-3 score.
You could say
Good game, yeah.
it's no surprise because they're seated 1 and 8 or 8
Yeah.
and 1, but really it's
Like-
anybody's game when you get to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a
They
tight
certainly
group.
weren't outmatched by
No.
any means.
No, it was a real good game. So what we'll do here, folks, we'll give you one more go round here on the scores before we take a little break and get things ready for the semifinal action. So Andrew, you can give us the latest. What's happening?
I'll get you to give sheet 4
Okay.
or 3 rather, because I can't see the board.
Okay, sheet 4. Like I said, it's 6-5 currently. Thompson over Murphy. Murphy with the hammer on 8.
And then Talon is up 7-5 after 7, with Talon having the hammer in the 8th. And the Ottershaw-Dacey game is coming right down to the wire here as well. There's lots of stones in play, and Ottershaw is up 6-5 playing 8, with Dacey laying 1. And then the remaining ladies game, we have Team Robichaux over Malay 5-3 playing the 7th.
Okay. Well, listen, thanks a lot, Andrew, for helping us out here with our broadcast, our quarterfinal action. We're going to take a little break here, and we'll be going to be back at noon for championship semifinal action here from the 6th annual Jimmy Sullivan Classic.
Championship Sunday.
From Thistle St. Andrews, New Brunswick, and St. John's, this is Keith Rains signing off for now.